Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. So we've got another little project that's one sheet wonder. Well, technically it's probably a two sheet wonder because by the time you decorate, I used up 2 sheets. What I wanted to do was, I don't know about you guys, but I've got bits like this where I've got papers, like I've got 3 of this paper and 1 of this paper from a range left. So, and I've got quite a few like that, so that's what this will entail. And I'll try and get rid of it all. Here we go, we'll just undo it. Slide that through. Now, front cover of course. We've got a little envelope just in here. We've got another little envelope in this one. We've got journal space, lots of. Now this could be a standalone thing on its own, or it could tuck into a journal. And then we've got another one. Now these pull out. Okay, and there's still writing space here, and they literally just slide back so that you can replace them if you want to, if they get full, or take them out to write on. Folds, 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 comes round and does up. Now, really easy, really easy, and you can then do what you want with it. What we're going to do today is make the initial project, and then next week we'll come back on and we'll decorate it if you want to hang around for decorating, if you need some ideas for that. Because I've got a really busy week, sorry. So we've got time today to make it, and I'm just going to trim off my barcode strip, and then I've got to go on the road for work this week. So I'm going to keep that just in case I want to use that in there. So here's my initial sheet. Try and find something when you're using your scrapbook papers. If we'd prefer double-sided, makes it easier. But try and find something that's got at least one side non-directional. Yes, I know this has got a few butterflies in it, but really, you know, I could have this with the flowers any which way. That's my other side. So it definitely goes, you know, top to bottom. What we're going to do with this, and I'm going to do it that side first. This is my outside. This is my inside. All right, I want this on the outside. So with your scoreboard, I'm just going to pull my scoreboard up. I'm just going to sit it right side up with my pattern going top to bottom. I want to go to my 4-inch mark, but I'm not going to score my 4 inches. What I'm doing, let's start that one again. What I'm going to do is go 1/8 of an inch back from 4 inches. Now, I've done this in inches because that's what my scoreboard does. If you're working in centimetres, work out your third markings and then go either side. So we've gone 1/8 of an inch in from 4 inches, and then we're going to go 1/8 of an inch out from 4 inches, so that we're left with a 1/4 inch piece in between our scored lines. We're going to go up to the 8-inch mark and do exactly the same thing. So 1/8 of an inch in, just going to give them 2 little goes, and then 1/8 of an inch past the 8-inch one. So again, we've got another 1/4 inch between the 2 score lines. Now we're just going to turn this to the left. Okay, so we've just literally turned it to the left. What we want is 1/4 of an inch up here as well. Makes it really hard when it's right up against the edge. So 1/4 of an inch. And then what we want is our halfway mark between our 1/4 of an inch in and our bottom, which is about 5 7/8, I think. So if we go down to, it needs to be from this side because we don't want to cut class into this. So we're going back 5 7/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's just below the 6-inch So it's it's an eighth of an inch below the 6 inches, or above the 6 inches. Right. Okay, so now we've got 2 score lines here going that way. We turn it round. So we've got our score lines here, either side of our 4 inches. Our score lines here, either side of our 8 inches. We've got our score line 1/4 of an inch up there. And then we've got a score line in the centre between our score line here and the end. That's it. I can pop that away. I will grab another bonus scorer that's sitting here, and what we're going to do is our top one, which is our 1/4 inch at the top, we're just going to fold over. Okay, so we're just going to fold that over, give that a good crease, just like so. Okay, and that one, which should, let's see how we go, when we fold that in half, come to that folded edge up here so that it lines up beautifully. Ah, oh, don't you love it when a plan comes together? Right, so our other little score lines, which are our ones down here, we need to fold those in, both of them. So we'll go one, and I tend to just put my fingernails there, which gives it that initial crease. You can refold this one back out if it makes it easier for you. Going down, we want to do the same with that one, which is our second score line, like so. Give that a crease. You'll see when I'm creasing that one, I'm not going right over both of them. I'm just staying on the edge so that I don't flatten out my first crease too much. So what I've now got is a 1/4 inch spine there. We're going to do exactly the same on this side. There's that one. We may trim, I've done a couple of these over time, and every now and again I need to trim a little bit off the edge, but you know, it's neither here nor there whether you have to do that. It doesn't make it detrimental to it. And along there, and we'll trim that one. Right, so refolding it back out, you've now got a spine on this side, you've got a spine on this side, we've got a fold at the top and a fold at the bottom. What we now need to do is get rid of that corner and that corner. Okay, now when we take these away, we're going to go down to our folded line, but when you chop them out, you're far better off if you put your ruler or your trimmer or whatever else at the bottom of that scored edge. And we need to go to the inside score line. So we've got our 2 here, we need to go to the inside one and straight across. Okay, same on our other side. I'm just going to sit that there. I'm going to go over my little score line and to the inside edge, straight down there. Now I want to cut this on that inside edge one again as well, and this time we're taking it to that cut edge. So you'll line it up to your cut edge, straight down, take that section away. We'll use that for other things, so don't fret. Going over your little score line, down to your cut edge and straight up. Right, so now what we've got left is that. Simple as that. This one, this is so easy. We'll fold over and adhere down here. That's what gives us our slot to put our other one in. That one's going to come over here and that one's going to come over there. How easy is that? Oh, look, and it's come up right. There's my little butterfly. And my butterfly's right on that side. Ah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, if you see how this is just a slight bit wider? It's up to you, depending on how much you're going to fill this. So I'm going to ink all this. Now what I've been doing, because I want it a little bit darker, I'm just using my VersaFine Clear, which is just a normal pigment ink, but it's meaning that I can give it a really good grunge up because I was too lazy. I mean, I've got lots going on at the moment. I've been too lazy to either go and refill my brushed corduroy because it was getting a little bit light on, but what I wanted was my walnut stain, which was a darker colour, and my other distress inks are over there. And when I was doing this initially, almost a fortnight ago now, gosh, I couldn't be bothered going over and hunting for my walnut stain, so I just pulled out one of my normal ones, my normal inks, which was a darker colour, and I've quite fallen in love with it. So it just proves that you can use any ink you want. You don't necessarily need to use actual distress ink brand. This coming from me, who's a distress ink fanatic. But I just wanted to really grunge it up. That one I don't need to do because this is going to be folded down like so. So the rest of it is all on the top, like that. And I want this side done. Told you it was easy. Just straight down. And where are we going from there? Up here. Up here. And again, both sides of our little spine. Now, as I said before, we're going to pop in our little books today. Sew those in, get that sorted, but we will do the rest of the decorating next week. I do have another video scheduled to come out on Wednesday, I think it is, which is an ephemera haul from an antiques fair. That's that, beautiful. This one can be adhered down. I'm actually going to chop just a little bit of that off, not much, just a little bit. Right. So just on that fold, that 1/4 inch seam, I suppose we could call it, just to get that in there. Pop your lid back on. Folding it down without getting too much glue on you. Nice and straight. I'm going to give that a push with that to make sure I've got no glue coming out. That's it. Right, our little books. These are so much easier as well. So what I want to do is use one of the other sheets that's in this. So I've got one of these. This is a Kaiser brand one, Magnolia Grove. It came out donkey's yonks ago, absolutely ages ago. But what it's got is this, and it's the only one of these ones I've got left, quite a few of the others. So what I want to do is make 2 little books. They will need to be trimmed down because these are 4 inches by 6 inches. We're not 6 inches anymore top to bottom, and we need a little bit smaller. So all we want, it's about 5.5 inches, a little bit larger than 5.5, just so that it fills up a fair whack of it. And we want them to be about 3.5. So as you can see, these at the moment are 6 by 4. So I'm going to work out some that I can actually use. This one's quite nice, even though I'll have to trim a little bit of it off. And this one's quite nice because one will go one way, one will go the other. So let's trim this bit off. And you can do this with any papers. They don't have to be from a range. It's just ever so much easier when they're from an actual range. You don't have to think, you know it's all going to match. All right. So I'm thinking I like that one as one. I can still trim him down. That's not a problem. So I'm going to score it down there to fold it over. And I'm thinking maybe that one. I could either go that one or I can go that one. I really like this. But in saying that, if that's there like that, it doesn't show up a great deal with that on the other side. So if I need to go that way, that will allow it to stand out a bit further, won't it? So let's go that one. I'm going to trim that bit off. I can always use this bit as a pocket or something else. Right, so that one's gone. And because I'll see that one on that side, this one will work beautifully. So I'll trim off that love. And we'll score down that centre line. Just down there. And fold that into a little book. And then I'm going to trim it down. And our other one is that one. I need to make sure that's straight. Something up there is not straight, I don't think. That's on my line. Right. Let's have a look. I'm going to fold this one over. And I know what you're all saying. Oh, but look at the inside. That's hideous. That's why we decorate. Okay. So that's that one. That's that one. Now you can decorate. We're going to do our little books. It's just the other part that we're going to leave until next week. So I know that has to stay and that has to stay, which is that side. The rest of it's going to need to be trimmed down. Let's have a look. Find my trimmer. So, need to trim a little bit off that side. I may need to trim a little bit more. What did we say? About 3 and 5/8. 3 and 5/8, I'm thinking. Which is going to be on that line, isn't it? Let's have a look. Let's just double check if that's going to sit in there. Yes. And I need to trim a bit off the bottom and a bit off the top. So I'm going to do that evenly. Let's have a look now. That should... Oh, that was lucky. That should now fit in there like that. It could still do with a little bit trimmed off there. It's just a little bit wide. So let's take it back a bit. Just a smidge. Right. Our other one needs to come down to about the same size. Now that I've worked out the size that I want, I'm just going to secure there like that. And I'm going to take it all off the top of this one because otherwise I lose my bottom section down here. I know this is the size that we want. That's looking good. Right. Get rid of those ones. And we'll see now if they both fit in. Slides in lovely. Right, so they both fit in beautifully. And we can do our little bookies. So now I'm going to just whiz around them. Sorry, I hiccuped. I just want to grunge this right up today. Alright, that's that one. You can See, no real care is being taken with this. And both of those have turned out nicely, which is rather good. And mind you, you only see that back side of it once you've actually taken it out anyway. So I'm going to go just around the edges because I'm then going to decorate these. Now, because this is all scrapbook paper, which means that it's a little bit thicker, a lot of my decorating is going to be done the same as I did with my steampunk version, with book pages. You know me, I'll use book pages left, right and centre if I can, but they're thinner than your scrapbook paper, so done. So they don't add the bulk to it. This one's going this way, this one's going this way. All I've got is some copy paper that I've just cut. Now I'm hoping they're at the right size. Yes, they are. And they will be sewn in, but as you can see, that, look, it may be you, but it's not me, because they're not full ones or anything else. So what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to grab a book page, a young lady of fashion, and all I'm going to do, do I want a young lady of fashion in there? No. I'm just going to fold these over because they are a very old book page, just so that it tears a little bit easier. Go down there to, doesn't have to be straight, like so. Tucking that one in a little bit. You can hear this tear beautifully. It's just so soft, this paper. And that one I'm going to fold over from there so I can see where I want it to go, like that, and then I can tear that bit off too, like so. Now this time I'm going to go back to my brushed corduroy in my distress ink. So back to my distress ink with that one. I'll move that one so it doesn't move. And I'm going to go that way. I know I've got a tear there, but it will all just glue back down. This is just a base so that I can start to decorate without it adding too much bulk, and it just ties it all in and doesn't give me more of a collage look. I'm not a big collage person. I like collage in its place, don't get me wrong, but there are some times when, see now that, like that, but because we're all flowery and butterfly-y, does that make sense? Let's just, oh, I know which ones I might like to use. My Timmy butterflies. Timmy bird. So what I'm going to do is just stamp that on there. So I need a large one. Don't have my stamping platform here. It's still packed from when I was away last week and I haven't got it back out again. And I'm going to use black because that's the writing that I've got in there. So once again, you know I always use my stamps. So I'm just going to sit that vaguely on that line. I'm going to go down like so. Give it a good push. Cool. So now I've got that in there. So we can glue that one down straight away. I've got so much mess. Let's put that one away. That's because where I was looking at the tie for that one. Make sure there's not too much glue on that one. And I'm just going to use my glue stick to glue this down. It's a little bit tacky because it's fairly warm here today. Must be, I mean, it's singlet top. Tank top, singlet top, whatever you want to call it. Down like that. Make sure it fits. And I want that one. And we'll do another one. So let's go that one. Great way to use up if you've got a pile of book pages. Don't know who would have a pile of book pages. No, I don't think I know anybody with a pile of book pages. Couldn't be me. I've got to make a concentrated effort to use up more of them because I just keep buying them because I can't help myself. I've got them everywhere. You're going to go in there. You're going to go up there. Fold that one over to about where I want it. Like so. And then all we've got is the same one here. Like that. So it still gives me my colours around the edges, which are all the colours, of course, that I'm using in all this. But what it now allows for is it just to blend, I suppose, a little bit better. But that's just a me thing. Make sure I'm grabbing the right blending brush, foam, whatever you want to call it. All right. And really, the pages that you're using, the scrapbook pages, a little bit of copy paper, whether it's coffee dyed or plain or whatever else, some old book pages and a few stamps. And that will do this one. So that's going to go there. I need another stamp. Let's have a look at another one of these. Well, actually, I love that. I love that one. That's another Timmy one. Let's do that one. What do you reckon? That one. And yes, at the end of all this, I will attempt to put away all these stamps. Usually when I've finished a project, I've got 1,000,001 stamps sitting around that I have to then put back away because I pull them out of each book and they're everywhere. Right. Straighten it up just a little bit. And you'll notice I'm going sideways instead of trying to do it that way and twisting my body in a funny direction. Straight down. I will get a better result if 1, I use my stamping platform, or 2, I put my stamping foam underneath this. I'm doing neither, so I'm getting a fairly wonky job. I'm trying to push. That one's come out a bit better. But yes, from now on, we'll use our stamping foam, okay? I like that one. That one's come up a treat, and that can be now stuck down. I've got my book over here. Get rid of that. That'll go in recycling. Goes that way. How are we going for time? Doing all right. Doing all right. I just want to get our little books done for the centre, and then for those that can then go on their own, feel free, head off, do what you like with it. But for those that want a little bit of help in decorating the rest of it, that'll be up next weekend. They usually go up around midnight on the Sunday night, Monday morning. So I always schedule them for about, that's Australian time. Right, so there's that one, which is that one. This one will go in there like that. We can still decorate all these, and we will next week. What I want at the moment is to be able to stitch all these in got my foam, I've got my awl, I've got my needle, and somewhere in amongst here I've got a grey embroidery floss, okay, because that will work really well with my greys on here, my greeny grey on here. So I quite often use my embroidery floss, and they're also a good thing that you can find at the op shops, thrift shops, and stash up with it that way. What we're going to do first is I'm going to find my markings, and what I want is my centre. So what did we say these were? 5 1/4, or about 13 1/2. I'm just going to do pencil marks, 6 1/2, 6 3/4. So about there is my centre, and then I'm going to drop it down to about 4 1/2. Oh, see, I've automatically gone in centimetres, sorry. Just somewhere top and bottom. So if we want to go in inches, about 1 3/4 to 2 inches either side, and our centre line. Okay? You know what I mean. You've been with me long enough, for those that have. If you're new, you'll get used to me if you hang around. I'd love you to hang around, but yeah. Right, so I'm just going to pop a paper clip on that side and a paper clip on that side, just to hold them lightly while I pierce them. So straight through my centre hole, my bottom or the top, whichever one it is, because it's all turned up, that's the top, and one of those, that one is the bottom. Okay, so we're just going to do a basic 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Pull that out. I'm going to thread this needle, hopefully. There we go. Now, with the embroidery floss, you can do a full 6 strands, because they come in 6 strands. If you want to do a delicate one, you can do it in 3 strands, 4 strands, 5 strands. It's up to you. All right, so up, straight through the centre, from the middle, from the inside, up to the top one, back down, pull him out, down to the bottom one, so that you're going all the way down. Take that little bit out of there. Right, and then back through your centre one. So what I'm doing now is I'm holding this one tight so that I don't go onto the same, because I don't want to split my threads, okay? And this time I've come on the other side of this one that goes all the way down. Right, that can be tied off. Nice and tight. Now I can chop that section off. I very rarely just chop my piece and then sew it. I'll have it attached on one end. If I'm too much of a sponge, and I might not need that much paper, that much thread. There we go. Take that out. Take that out. One of our little books, we can do whether we want dangles, whether we chop them off later on or not, is up to you. Find this one. This one will now slip in there like that. And now we can do our other one. So here's our other one, all ready to be done. In amongst the mess, we're going to do our book page again. Again, I'm just going to fold it over. So it's exactly the same as what we've done. It's just picking a different stamp or something to go onto it. Get rid of that one. You can knock these out so quickly. Great way to use up all your bits and pieces as well. And we get through some more of our scrapbook paper that's floating around. All those 12 by 12s. You just can't beat these little one sheet wonders. Or as I said, 2 sheet wonders because I've used the other sheet that I had sitting there for my little books inside. And I want that one. Just going to fold it over to about where I want. Doesn't have to be straight because I'm tearing it anyway. You can mark and straighten it. It doesn't have to be book paper. You could just use copy paper. You could use digitals. Anything you like that's going to be nice and light for you onto that. So a little bit of ink just so that it highlights it. All right. That one. And I need another stamp. Let's go with the butterflies. I had some pretty butterflies here. All that. Let's just go a different butterfly. Hang on. Since we've got such a mess, let's continue to make the mess. And we'll go a butterfly that's going to fit in there. Without a word. Let's have a look. Should have some bigger butterflies. Don't want birdies. Do you fit? That will fit. Get him off his sheet. Might be a new one. Don't think I've used it yet. So many stamps I've got to sort out. That's pretty good. Let's make that to the big pile that's going over up there. And let's put that dead smack in the centre. What do you reckon? So this time we said we were going to use the foam just to get a slightly better finish. And this is just the kids craft foam. I've just joined 2 sheets together with glue. Okay, and I'm going to need another block. So this one, I can do my block that way, so it's still up that way and I don't have to twist or anything else. So I've still got my left to right going. Sitting that down there, inking that up. Again, I'm using the black so that it stands out on all the book page. You can still see the book page between all the ink. Just make sure I've got a nice coverage there because it's a solid stamp in areas. Yep, you'll do. You'll do. Down here, resting my wrists on the ground or on my table. Just a little bit. Work your way round. I'm not taking both hands off, just one at a time. Lovely. I like that on that one. I'll add that to that mess over there. That one can be adhered down, which means I need my book because that's where I just chucked that stamp. I actually really like this one. I might have to make sure that this one's on the side that you see and not the side that's tucked into the little folder. All right. Yeah. That's going to go this way. So I'm going to put him in there. All right. There's that one. We need one more for there. Waltz Dreams, that should fit. Let's keep Waltz Dreams in there. Take that. Just that one. Beautiful. Over. For those of you that are still here. This is just a little bit repetitive now, but that way you won't forget it. So that's going to go there. Very little measuring. And our last bit. About that. There we go. How's that? Inking with that ink, which is that blender. And one more stamp. And again, this one you're not going to see it much of unless you actually take it out of the folder. So, look at that, no markups, no editing. I can get this one done straight up and it can just be loaded. Beautiful. Need to get rid of that. Glue. Alright, I'll get this done. I will clean up. I will pack so that I can take some stuff on the road with me during the week. And to do in the hotel room of an evening. It should be good. Let's have a look. There, and there. Flatten that down. Now I've got a little bit of glue up on that top bit, so what I want is, but just so that I don't get it everywhere. And we're going to stamp this one while it's on, because that's what I've done. Not that it matters too much if you muck up, because let's face it, it's going in anyway. I don't want that. I decided against that, didn't I? I did. My big ones are over there. We're not going to get those. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I don't know why that's in there. That one could go up. Nope, I don't like that. We could do a collection, couldn't we? Let's do a collection. Let's pull these ones out and we will do a collection of different ones. Right. So we can go that one and that one. Can I get 3? I like that one. Let's do that. What do you reckon? The problem with sticking it on first is that it will curl because I've used a wet glue. So I just need to bend that back and watch what I'm doing. So that one's going to go there. I can use a little one. Look at that. Grabbed another block. So I've now got, what, 3 blocks, 4 blocks out. You can never have enough blocks. There. Cute. You there. You were next, weren't you? Down like that. Link that one up. On an angle like that. So you can see I'm rocking it a little bit, but I'm not moving it. That one, and our last one is that one, and he's going to go there like that. Right, there we go. So now it's just a matter of sewing this one in again. I've got that. Once again, I will need to mark my centre. So I've got my 3 sheets again. You can put in as many or as little sheets as you want. I put 4 sheets in my original one, and I would say it's a little bit thick, so I've gone back to 3 with this one just to see if it makes any difference. I'm not quite certain whether it's going to make that much difference, but I thought I'd give it a shot and see how we go. So one in the centre, and then what was I going? 4.5 in centimetres, and up 4.5, There we go. That'll be close enough. Now I need to attach that to that one. Evening it up. Grabbing a couple of paper clips again, just to hold them all into place while I'm doing this. Alright, use my awl. Down there. Down there. And down there. And back to what we were doing. Just trying to unwind that. Seeing how the eyesight's going. I do have a needle threader there somewhere. Maybe I should have pulled that out. There you go. There you go. Right, so once again, through the centre. This is just your basic sewn stitch. So it's a 3-hole down that one. You can't go wrong with this one. All the way down to the bottom. Get out our little thread. And back into that centre one. So try and hold that centre one tight while you're doing it. And then back into that one. Like that. And we're going to go that side of it, okay? Without splitting our threads, because otherwise it won't want to tighten properly. If you do split your threads with your needle, when you go to tighten it, it won't tighten properly. So you can see that that's tightening all that. Right. Not that way. Trim that bit off. Turn it round and knot it back the other way. Just trim that last little bit off there. There we go. Pull that one out. Pull that one out. Find said book in said mess. There it is. Right. So we've got that book in there. This one we'll now slide in with it. That's in there like that. That will fold over. That will fold over. In essence, there's our book. Next week, if you want to jump on, we will decorate like we've done with this. This was just done in a steampunk version, and all I've used, that was the paper. That was that on one side, that on the other. These were again part of that range. I've done the same thing with these, and I've used stamps. I've used some, where are they? Here. I've used some digitals from Whichcraft Do. Now, they are the vintage bits and pieces. So they're like the Timmy dolls, but you can print them out onto your copy paper, so they're a lighter weight again. They're not going to add bulk. They've got quite a few of these in their different digitals, but the one I've used for this is Vintage Bits and Pieces Set 2. I will leave a link for their digitals down below, and I've also used, these were all stamps, and the stamp set that I used was a darkroom door stamp set, which is sitting here, with, right here, which was a steampunk one. Okay, now this is an older one, came out in 2011, but it matches this really well. So that's what these guys were. They were from here. But this one and this one and this little dude and that little guy are all from the Whichcraft Do digitals. So hope you like that. See how you go with it. Play around with it. Use up some of those bits and pieces that you've got floating around. If not, jump back on with me next weekend and we will decorate this one. Thanks, guys. Till next time. Happy crafting. Bye.